Okay, so that's another outcome that might come of that.
So you're starting from Saudi Arabia and finally you are developing a generic model. Is it?
I think the way models, you interpret model in a different way perhaps what Hassan is saying. That model is a conceptual model to be tested statistically. It's not model to say, input X, output Y. It's not like it. It's to test whether the relationship do exist, and if exist, how strong they are, and if they are strong, whether they'll be effective in influencing. That's
No.
Yeah.
He's working on Saudi national
Yeah.
So the main goal is to is not only for Saudi. If once you can develop a relationship of national culture knowledge sharing, then it is possible for you to develop, say, in generic model for the rest of the world or rest of the society.
I guess my question follows on from that. Are you going to be asking each individual person to fill out a survey, asking them to fill out Hofstede's particular indicators and rate their own particular national culture for each one of those?
No.
Or is that already established, fixed in stone, that you're from Saudi Arabia and your particular scores across those national cultural dimensions already locked in place?
No, actually, we're gonna use the Hofstede model again because we believe that the national culture values change from year to year, and we will use the Hofstede dimension as a one part of my questionnaire, and the other part is knowledge sharing practices. Do you do that? Do you prepare actually? Because we are not sure about if it exists.
Yeah. So you're going to ask them for that second. For the first stage, you'll ask them to rate the national culture
dimension, using Hofstede one.
And then the second case, for that same person, you'll be asking them to rate their preferences to which knowledge sharing practices they would rate high or low.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, I prefer this approach against this approach. So when you do your scatter plots, I'm trying to visualize data analysis here, you'll do some scatter plots and create some regression trends. Are you not creating regression trends of an individual's culture versus their preferences?
I'm going to use a statistical model to find the relation, because I found it in the literature. Actually, I don't know how statistical works, but that's what I found it in the literature, that if we have certain value, like in national culture dimension, and another questionnaire, if we measure the knowledge sharing practices, preferences, we can link it together using that statistical model to show what is the direct relation, like, for example, between board distance and knowledge sharing practices number 8. It will make the factor analysis distributed in a groups, then it will find each individual with each independent variable, and then multiple regression to see the combination.
Okay. So you're turning somehow the individual's responses for each part, for knowledge sharing practices and national culture, you're turning it from an individual response to sort of a combined collective response to try and see what are the significant trends. Because I was thinking, if you did this across all countries, then you could create a regression trend to say there's a relationship between this national culture and the way they take up knowledge sharing practice 9. But if you're doing it for a single country, I was just concerned that might be just individuals' culture versus their preference for a particular knowledge sharing activity. So just the statistics of how you actually achieve that, I'm just not too sure.
Isn't culture though a collection of the sum of the total way they behave?
Yes, yes.
So in fact, if he's asked the question of people in Saudi Arabia, then he's talking about their culture, and it's irrelevant to what they do in America or Australia.
Yeah.
Because culture is not an individual thing; it's only a collective thing.
Having said that, there is no point in getting an aggregated score for the culture, because you are not comparing to another culture.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is basically is that if you take each one of these columns and deal with it as if it's independent variable, and say I'm looking at, let's say, individualism, and saying on that scale, from 0 to 100 or whatever, this is how they score. Now, regardless of what they score, and because I'm not comparing it to another culture, I will take this one and say all the knowledge sharing practices that encourage people who are working on their own, they prefer to, I guess, keep knowledge, close to heart and so forth. Once those significant relationships are established through progression, then the next stage, which I think the most important part, which is the multiple progression, which basically say only TDI or IVD is the one that you look for in making a list of knowledge sharing practices effective or not, because they can feed into each other.
Could I make one small suggestion?
Please do. That's a whole idea
Go
of the
back
seminar.
to your aim. You were to get some of the questions that I asked you earlier. You said provide practical recommendations and put to whom. Put a target in there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A target population. That would cut out a lot of the crap we've just, sorry, not crap, the discussion we've just had.
Yeah. Thank you very much, John.
I like that. Okay, next question.
Yeah, Hassan.
Yes,
Are you going to test this, 5 dimensions again, because Saudi Arabia is one of Hofstede investigated maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So are you going to update those findings again and then relate it to?
Yeah, of course, I'm going to, as I told, answer to Dr. Rodney, I'm going to retest it simply because we believe, as you know, in national culture it is changing slightly along the time. And you said it is 15 years ago, and now I think there is some changing happening in that dimension value.
Yeah, the other point I found, to test one dimensions take long process. So do you think, to test 5 dimensions with all, as a variables with knowledge sharing, it will take you a long time that will affect the study or the length of the amount of, writing paper? Because most of studies just contrast between 2 or 3 dimensions at least. Because
and that's what we
it
can
takes long time for to test more than 2 or 3 dimensions each time.
And thank you very much, Ibrahim, for this question. And that's what we, from factor analysis, we may find, as Professor Sheikh said earlier, that long and short-term oriented.
Sorry. What Ibrahim is Ibrahim is saying is that he's saying the time that will take the respondents to fill out the questionnaire. Is that what you're saying?
It's only 25
Yeah,
questions.
and the process also.
It's
5 dimensions, it will take time.
I see.
I think Ibrahim, because he just finished his analysis, he's worrying about analyzing things. And I think from factor analysis we can ignore some or find some dimension is not that related or that strong effectively in knowledge sharing dimension.
It's not significant.
It's not significant, yeah, that's what I'm using factor analysis.
Yeah, you will drop them off and you will stand with 2 dimensions or 3.
I think in your study you come out of 3 dimension only? Or?
No, I use different because I found Hofstede is much related to work attitudes. It's not a national culture, except because there's many social values and like hedonism and
Use Schwartz is one.
So I use Schwartz instead, and that's take me a long process as well because it's very huge area. The culture is very complicated. So that's why I point here to take care about the time. So how to test all these dimensions and how to link. The SPSS will work with you, but it's need a human feeling with it.
Sometimes it
And also, so far as I know, the most of the Saudi construct employees are from outside. It's overseas.
Most of them is Arab.
Yeah, most of them.
All of them actually in that
in the construction.
not the
public.
in that
Public, because most of the time they are either from Egypt or Jordan or Saudi Arabia, and from Hofstede culture dimension, it is almost the same national culture for all that 3 or 5 countries.
Wouldn't they be drawing on a lot of international consultants to work as part of their project teams?
Yeah, but I'm measuring the effect of national culture in public sector.
Only
Yeah, and that thank you, John. It is for public sector.
But you're focusing on